Everyone. My name is Rajesh Pandit, and I'm going to speak to you today about how to keep yourself updated. Special thanks to all the dignitaries for extending this wonderful opportunity to me. I've been working in publishing industry on online product portfolio for companies like John Wiley and Walters Kluwer, with an overall experience of approximately around 28 years. Uh, Currently, I'm working as founder and director with Bismarck. At Bismarck, we have successfully helped companies to grow from approximately 37 different business domains. So that's quick background about myself, and I would like to take things forward. So in my presentation today, what are we going to expect? Yes, I'll be touching upon some of the important topics. Okay. At end of this session, if I'm able to trigger the chain of thoughts and desire to change in you, we should achieve the expected. So quick instructions, keep pen and notepad ready as we are going to do some loud thinking. We are going to write down a few of the points. And I want all of you to really participate because the more you think about it, it's going to be very, very helpful for you to really go to next level. So let me start with the one single liner for all of you. Please write down top three reasons. Please write down top three reasons why have you selected library science as a profession. I'm going to wait for a minute and I would like all of you to actually, pen down and let us see what exactly you're really thinking. Pick up the top three reasons why have you selected library science as a profession. Wow, that's a lot of thinking because you never must have thought somebody's going to come and ask you this question. Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Keep writing. Please remember you have to write top three reasons. Oh, thank you very much. I'm sure you must have written by now the top three reasons why have you selected library science as a profession. Let's move ahead. Now, while have you been actually writing these top three reasons, they can come from various reasons, right? From probably stability to your job, or maybe you wanting to do something in this particular field, or maybe you thought, okay, this is the best and stable option that I have right now. You can have your own reasons, and nothing wrong in that. So perfect. Thank you very much. So now let us look at the second part of this entire journey. What would you prefer to be? Can you please tell me what would you prefer to be? A productive person or a non-productive person? Please write it down. What would you like to be? A productive person or a non-productive person? Now, once you've written that, write down top three why to your answer. If you say I'm a productive person, you write down why you think so. If you say no, I'm not a productive person, write down why it's not so. Let's give you a pause so that go ahead and write. Go ahead and write. I'm so sure you will really understand this well because this is going to come up with a lot of ideations and thoughts in your mind. I'm really happy if it really triggers a chain of thoughts for you. Please go ahead, write. Top three why. So top three why would be why you think you're a productive person. Why? The three reasons. Why non-productive? The three reasons. Just go ahead and write it down. Because this is going to be so important going forward because this is going to really bring in a very different set of uh, activation of your overall working and the methodology that you want to really adapt going forward. So thank you very much, that's great. So I'm sure you must have penned down your three whys. So let's move forward now. Majority of you are going to think they're you absolutely productive because you might be doing the work assigned to you. Now, please understand, when I'm saying productive here, I'm talking purely from the profession, purely from the work point of view. I'm so sure that you must be 100% productive. Back home, you are doing everything right. You are earning salary, you're doing job, you're participating. Great. That I'm not talking about that. I'm purely talking from the work point of view. At work, if you are doing what is assigned to you, then you might probably qualify yourself as productive. And absolutely right, that's okay, there's nothing wrong in doing that, and absolutely right, because somebody is assigning you some work and you're participating in that. Now when somebody is assigning you that work, what is your frame of mind? It's very very important for all of you to really understand that when somebody is assigning you the work, what is your frame of mind when you actually go out and try a method to really do that work. Okay, it's so important. So let us look at productivity from two different angles right now. I would like to bring this thought in front of you. Let us look at one from the administrative point of view. Okay, you must be performing your duties to your capacity, the level best, and that will be like great. Something is assigned to you and you are doing it administratively perfect, no doubt about it. Second question I would like to ask you in terms of knowledge. Think about it. Are you extremely knowledgeable in the subject of your institute? For example, if you are an engineering institute, okay, if you're an engineering institute, then do you know each and every subject that is being taught inside your organization? Part one. If you know the subject, do you know the minor and finer details of that subject? Now, this is something very, very, very important. This is very, very important because until and unless as a library profession, you always look at you as a resource scientist or probably knowledge scientist. They look up to you. Now, a lot of people confine themselves to a thought of only finding information. Okay, they think that they need to only help in finding the information. I think it is way beyond that. Therefore, this question, please go back and think: are you knowledgeable in the subject of your institute? Very important. You may say, I'm not a professor, mathematics is not my subject, engineering is not my subject. How I can understand anything and everything about it? Well, absolutely. But that's so important that you really really understand each and every subject that we are talking out over there in the institute. So let me ask you another question. Have you set up your career goal for yourself? Have you ever thought of really doing a career goal? If you haven't done, no problem, don't worry, it's not that difficult or a rocket science. It's very simple. But have you ever thought of it that I should have a career goal? Okay, nothing to worry. At end of this session, I'm going to really put up one sheet, which is a goal setting sheet, which I'll share with all of you. You can go ahead and use that. If you need any help during that entire process, please let me know, and I will always reply back to you, or we can speak over phone. That's not a problem at all. So that's where so important for it. So career goal is so damn important. You might have heard of people talking about smart goals and everything. Brilliant, no doubt about it. What have you done? Have you actually set up your career goal? If you haven't, it's time to rethink. It's time to rethink. So when I'm talking to you about all these things, okay, I've definitely triggered some thoughts in your mind. Now, what exactly is happening to you right now? And I'm going to talk about one different concept to you, all of you today. That when you are actually listening to what I'm going to say and what I'm saying right now, you're constantly doing evaluation, whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, whether I'm in capacity to say about a particular subject, what is my authority on the subject, and your mind is constantly evaluating that, and which is okay, nothing wrong in that. Everybody does that, but that all is happening at the level called conscious mind. So basically, conscious mind is actually a decision making point in the state of awareness and awakeness. Now, what happens is, as you really progress, you are actually feeling motivated. Oh my god, I should set up a career goal. All these things are motivating you right now. Okay, now this motivation by and large can be temporary in nature. It can be very very temporary. Now what do we want? Now what we want you to really look at is the second aspect of it. So now let me ask you another question. Can you tell me how much blood is produced right now in your body? Well, don't worry, you cannot answer that. Can you tell me where the food that you had in the morning is right now in your stomach? No, don't worry, you can't tell me that, right? Now, a lot of all these things are controlled by something called a subconscious mind, which actually does a lot of body repair, the all functions which are handled by subconscious mind. Now, please understand, subconscious mind has no decision making power. So once you pass on anything to subconscious mind, it will simply execute. It is not going to think. The job of subconscious mind is just execute. And now, if this motivation, if you are able to transfer from your conscious mind into your subconscious mind, friends, you will be transformed. Now this transformation can happen in an instance, a one click, or it'll take a long time for you to transform yourself. Nothing to worry about it. It will happen. Eventually a time comes when people do get transformed and they are completely different people. What I want you to do right now, think about it. What you would like to be. You would like to just remain motivated or transform yourself. I personally suggest think about transformation. Think about it. Now let me take you to another concept, okay, which is called as quality of work. Now everybody out over here have their own set of knowledge. They have their own set of skill sets. Now if I look at from a simple standpoint that you have 80% knowledge and you have 70% of skills, your percent of performance will be around 56%. But if you have approximately 90% knowledge and if you have 80% of skill sets, trust me, you can show a phenomenal phenomenal difference. So a small change can lead to big results. What we are trying to really understand over here is, are we willing to put in that small efforts to really change ourselves, to bring in a complete new person out in the middle? Quality of work is so important that people by and large do not realize that how it is important. So we all need to really think about it, that what is that I'm going to really bring in myself? How can I increase my knowledge by 10%? How can I increase my skill set by 10 to 15%? And how can I actually bring in that completely different person? Now, next question to all of you is, what are the reasons that can slow down your growth? Can you please help me to understand that? Please go ahead and just please go ahead and probably write down what are the reasons that can slow down your growth. Take probably a half a minute time and write down only two reasons that will really slow down your growth. Write two reasons. Okay, I'm so sure you'll come up with hundreds of reasons that slow down your growth. Right from a fact that I'm working in an organization which is slow paced, that people on the higher level don't move to a level where you don't get support, you have all reasons of, you don't have time, you have so many other things to do, you have social commitments, so many things will come to your mind which can be the reasons in your mind for your slow rate of growth. Okay, that's the way you will always think about it. And then when you really start thinking about all these things, what I want you to do is write down top two reasons of the fact that your growth is slowing down because of these two reasons. And to me, you will realize, and what I can understand from my earlier sessions with different companies, is that people come down to themselves. So please look at it, what you have written, the two reasons, that can slow down your growth. Well, let's move forward. Another question that I would like to ask all of you: how would you like to be recognized in your organizations and within your peers? Well, I'm so sure everybody wants to be recognized as valuable people, or they want to be recognized as the most important resource, and they want to be recognized as scholars, and they would like to recognize themselves as one of the best. Correct? How would you like to be recognized in your organization and by peers? I'm so sure there's something that has come to your mind. Let me understand once again. Are you doing adequate to be recognized that way, the way you are expecting the recognition to happen to you? Are you doing adequate? Now, if you're not really doing that, there can be certain concerns and there can be certain reasons for you really not doing that. Everybody out in the world would really, really like to be recognized. And there's nothing wrong in that. But the efforts that are required to be put in are humongous. So I want all of you to really think that if you want to do that, what are you going to really do? Now, very important over here is the recognition comes to the people who are valued the most. You might see that people who have contributed extraordinary get the recognition. So let me explain what exactly the value or how it really turns out to be. Okay. Now the question can be, how should I increase my value? I mean, that will come to your mind, and nothing wrong with that. That's perfect. So let me help you with with an analogy right now. So learning will be at the top of the pyramid. Okay. So you need to constantly keep learning. Learning is a continuous process. If you have stopped learning, I'm so sure you're stagnant. You're stagnant. Okay. Part two in this is practice. So if you learn something, you need to go out and practice that. You need to put in a lot of efforts around practicing it until unless you really create value out of that. So learning, then practicing it, and then bringing value on table. Now, if you are actually doing that, okay, what happens? Now, whatever you are paid is paid for the value that you bring to the marketplace, and also called as reality, of course. I mean, you are paid for the value you bring in to the system, the value you bring into the job. They think, they think that they paid by time. Okay. Now, please understand, those who look forward from time perspective can never understand the value. They will look at only one aspect. I had put in 8 hours, I have put in 10 hours, I'm working so much. Correct. But when it comes to quantifying, you quantify it by time. Please understand, that's not going to increase your value. People pay you for the value you bring on table, for the value that you really bring out in the reality. And majority of world thinks that they're going to get paid by time. Friends, please be very clear about it. It's not about time. It is all about the value you really bring in. Now, how should I increase my value? This question will again glare up in your mind. It's going to crop up again, and that's where the real crux comes, right? Okay, so let me go ahead and give you one simple mantra that will really help you to understand. Part one: don't look at from the time perspective. Don't think that you're paid for the time. If you come at 9 and leave by 5:30, then you are really, really sharp on time. Every day, what is the new value you're bringing on table? Look at from that perspective. So part one, always remember this. Okay. Now let me give you the biggest mantra. Work hard on yourself rather than working hard on job. Because moment you start working hard on your own self, you start building, you start learning new things, you start practicing them, you bring in value. Okay. So the more and more subjects you know in your institute, the more and more in depth you are about each and every subject, the more you'll be valuable. The more you'll be valuable. People will look up to you, they will search for you, they will come up to you and say, okay, I need this. And that's where I think you're bringing value to the institute. That's where you're bringing value to the institute. If you're just putting hard work on your job, and that is very much required, nothing to be taken away from that, but I would suggest work hard on yourself. Work hard on yourself. So this is the biggest mantra for you to increase your value. Now that's what I would like to really come up with. That it is all about communication, your ability to speak, your ability to present, your ability to understand subject. Build all those things. Learn new things. Go out and talk more about it. Go and explore your abilities. Bring in new skill sets. Acquire new knowledge. And trust me, the time will be there that you will be absolutely valuable inside your organization. That's a mantra that's so important that I'm sharing with all of you today. So, what is important right now? Why I'm giving you all this backdrop of all these things is purely because information landscape is constantly changing. I hope you all agree with me on that. It's the massive information landscape change. The problem here is that whatever we are doing in terms of scientific information or the research information generally lives deep into the web. Majority of people today go out and prefer using Google as a search methodology rather than actually going to the actual source resources to do their research. I still remember when earlier days we used to sell a lot of abstracting services. Medline was a constant. Chemical abstracts was constant. And so on. There were lots of databases which were used by research community which was completely focused only on the subject. In today's world, people actually learned about searching by using Google. A point came where probably entire information industry, the research and the scientific information industry, had to submit to search engine like Google and allow them to explore content. The beauty of this is that everything was happening parallelly. Google was growing at the same time, the real scientific research content was also growing. Now, what actually happened was that while this transformation was happening, the overall reach of internet was rapidly going. Today, you can see everybody having a handheld device on which we can actually access any kind of an information. Problem with that is the concept of hyperlinking. We start for doing some research and we land up somewhere else, wasting a lot of time. Now there are a lot of capabilities which are available on platform which people don't even know about. They don't want to explore that. They simply prefer go to Google, make a search, and that's the way they really look at it. And the beauty of it is that you being a library person, you understand the knowledge, you understand the entire information. You can actually create great wonders for them. Your ability has to really to be taken to the next level. In this constantly changing information landscape, you have a very specific role to play. I want all of you to really think about it. Please don't stop thinking, because the more you understand as well, you will move away only, you will try to move into this domain of actually building your capacity, actually building value to the table, to all the people. Majority of people who today do search don't land up in finding the information they always wanted. They land up finding something else which may not be meaningful for them, and therefore they spend a lot of time on literature survey. People do not understand literature survey in this context, right? They only know Google is great, but it cannot actually do a literature survey for you. It cannot go deeper into an particular information. So what they do, ultimately they land up downloading a lot of information. Probably you all also might be doing the same. You don't have time to read it. Now what? Nothing. Of course nothing, because what do you do with it? I mean, you have pool of data downloaded on your machine. Now because it's not paper, so it's all in digital format, so we can't see that how much is downloaded. But trust me, it's massive data downloaded by a lot of people who don't even bother reading it even once, right? If it can happen to information resource people like you and me, it for a common man this can be a much bigger mistake. We need to really understand that how things are going to be difficult for people to really do the harvesting of information. And because of this complicity, something new can come in, which is called as AI and ML, that is artificial intelligence and machine learning, into this domain. Maybe another month, year, 2 years, 3 years. But yes, that will come into this entire structure, correct? Because we will have to understand that more and more people are finding easier way to really make searches. Having said that, there is a tremendous information landscape. Now you can see information flowing on WhatsApp, on Twitter, on Facebook. You go to any social media, the YouTube is a great example. Half of the world is on YouTube, and looking at videos, probably I don't even know how much do they really qualify to be called as real information. But people just go out, create content and push it out. What I'm here to really talk to all of you about is that please understand that you actually bring in a great amount of value to the people who really understand the need of quality information. But for that, you need to put in a lot of efforts. You need to put in a lot of efforts. And that's where I would like you to really understand this and take it to the next level, right? So, what we will do is, how do you really update under such situation? Okay. Now, this is something very interesting. Okay. When we were working, and I used to work with, probably you name of any institute, I used to really work with all of them, and people will definitely expect that you are a subject expert. You need to be constantly updating your skill sets. You need to constantly be working on yourself. Now that's the real crux, right? That how do you do that? How do you keep yourself updated on each and everything that is happening around you? For example, there can be hundreds and thousands of journals published by Wiley. Approximately when I was there, it was around 1400 to 1800, in between, something like that. Now how do you really keep yourself updated about each and everything that is going to really happen? Correct. Now the best part of it is that if you have working for you, it is much easier, because if you're working with them, you pick up your top 2 3 publishers, create your certain search strategies, and keep yourself up to date. How do you really update yourself? Correct. Now, what I will do from here is I'm going to really drive you to the to some of the platforms, and let us probably look at them. How quickly we can actually look at that aspect. Then I will speak about some of the more aspects of it, and then we will sum it up for today. So let me take you to 4 platforms. Now, the beauty of this is, if you're not subscribing to it, like I'm not right now, uh, but there's still an opportunity for me to go out and evaluate these platforms. How? Because I've just created my personal account, and actually I can just go ahead and show it to you how it really works. So I'm going to switch to now our online platform, so you can quickly understand that how effective they are. So let's start with Elsevier's. Now I just went ahead and I made a search. Okay, I made a search on calcium zinc stabilizer. Now the beauty of Elsevier platform is you can see a lot of information out over here, right? You can select the article, but let us look at the first part, which is called a setup alert. Now this is something, if your search strategy is precise, then you create an alert for yourself. Okay, once you create an alert, you can decide which frequency you want to set this up. So this is one very beautiful feature of LZO platform. Let's look at the second part of it, which is called as advanced search. Okay, now in advanced search, you can see right from journal, the date, the volume, issue, references, articles, to all the way up to what type of material you want to research. Book review, you want to look at book chapter, encyclopedia, research article, whatever I want to do. Okay. So I'm going to make a search. When I search this, what happens is I can actually go on top and actually save this as my search strategy. Okay. So this becomes my search strategy. And then so I'm just going ahead and clicking on search. So once I'm done with this, I can always save this as my search strategy. Isn't it beautiful and easy? Now when I do that, I'll keep on getting updates. So moment my search strategy is executed weekly, I'll come to know what exactly new has come into the field of my work, right? So there's just a simple example. I'm not going more into complications, but you need to try this out. You need to go out and set yourself with a lot of information that is important for your institute. You need to really understand how you can actually bring that up. Let me take you to the next platform called as IEEE. Now IEEE is an awesome platform, and I've been a big fan of IEEE. So this is IEEE, Explore. Now, if you look at here, you can manage your content out over here. You can see over here, manage content alert, add citation alert. So if I'm going to click, let's say, manage content alert, just give me 1 second and I'm going to, okay. You can set up your own save searches. So whatever search you're going to make, you can create your own save searches, and it'll keep on dishing out all those information. So what I'm going to do, let me just make a quick search here on. Okay, so now I have a lot of information out over here of Internet of Things. I can just simply refine my search whether I want to only look at conference proceedings, and I can simply apply. Now this is so important, that what has happened in last conferences, right? So this will just quickly give me that inputs. So I have full information out over here. I have abstract out over here. Okay. Now I can reduce this range probably to only last 4 years, because um, that's probably the time frame when it really started moving up. So I'm going to just take a smaller time frames, and then when I actually go and start looking at it, I realize that okay, I have a lot of information out over here on the subject. Now I can actually set up this as a search alert, and it will keep on sending me the information in the area of my subject interest. Okay. So you know what exactly your institute is having a direction. This can be a great way to really, create your own structure, and where you can actually go out and actually start looking at how I can actually get a lot of information and stay up to date with my information requirements. How can I be more accurate? Now you can use this as a brilliant platform. Let me take you to another platform which is called as Springer. So in Springer, if you go out and make a search, it's again very easy. So I'm just taking zinc and just going to make a search so that we can go quickly. So I have a lot of information pulled out over here, right? And I can actually look at a lot of them. So so we can actually shrink this to probably conference papers only, so that we really look at only of them. Okay. And now as you really see, I can actually look at the entire detail out over here. Okay. This is abstract and all other details. Let me quickly go back from here. And what I want you to actually look at it is this small thing called as RSS feed. Okay. Very important, because if this search has created results that you really wanted, then you can subscribe to the RSS feed. A very beautiful tool, but subscribe to this page, okay, via RSS, and it will keep on sending the information to you in your browser, and you'll keep on getting a lot of inputs from here, right? So that's beauty of actually how we can actually look at the RSS feeds part of it. Let me also evaluate another platform, which is a John Wiley platform. Now a very simple, crisp and clear platform. Awesome. You can export citations. I made some searches, so you can do a lot of refinement of your search. So I can refine the search from here. Okay. And then I can save my searches. So anywhere, title, author, so I'm saying keyword, and I'm going to say last 6 months, or let me just take the last 1 year, and I just go out and make a search. So it's just going to go out and refine the structure for me. Okay, so it has locked me out. Just give me 1 second. So I'm just gonna go out and Okay, quickly go back. Awesome. And I'm only looking at open access content. Okay, so I have a lot of open access material out over here, which majority of people may struggle to really find out open access material not available, but it's a huge pool of information available on open access from various publishers. I think you need to really work on it, and I'm so sure you can find. You have export of citation. Again, here you can get an RSS feed, so you can just go out and keyword search and with an operator, and you will be able to really create an RSS feed for yourself. This is a safe search, so you give a name and when you want the alerts. Now what I'm trying to tell all of you here is that please look at the key resources from where we can update our information, which is the more authentic, which is the most important, which is like real sources. Because why publishing is so important, right? Because information is always validated and it is published. Right? This is not something which is unpublished information. What we deal into is of course, I mean, we need all kind of information. The open access is also published, but we don't need to just go out to Google and just search anything. Okay, the platform enhancements are so huge, so beautiful, and they give you a lot of information out over here. So if you have seen these platforms, what I would like to do quickly here is I like to take you to if I'm having another platform called Google Scholar. So I'm over here and I have made a search. So if you look at the platform, it's very simple, very crisp, nothing much out over here. You can only customize a range from this structure, or you can create an alert. Okay. So you can set up your alert from here with the very basic minimal structure that is available. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you in my profile as well, so that you can understand actually that how things move. So let me go to the next, and this is where even my articles can be really brought in into Google structure. Okay, so that's the beauty of Google, but again it has its own limitations. It will come up with its own set of inherent constraints on searching the scientific literature. So while the publishing industry has given a lot of insight and a lot of information is shared with this all publishing with Google, but yeah, I mean, it has its own constraints, and what we need to really look at is that how we really look at these all platforms and how we can actually use them to our potential best way of using them. Please understand, if you look at anything called as Twitter, I mean, I'm sure you'll understand that that cannot be purely validated every time. I mean, yes, there's a lot of validated information also coming there. But generally across social media, you will always have an element of doubt. Therefore, it is so important to go to the core subject resources such as journals, books, which are properly published within the framework of actual, information science. So what I would like all of you to really do is please put in a lot of efforts around this. I'm so sure you'll be able to really understand the importance of keeping yourself updated every time, because if you want to bring in value into your system and if you want to be valuable person, I think the first thing we all need to understand is that how are we updated? Do we know the subject? Can we actually go and do a lot of voracious reading about a subject? Please understand, just getting a job as a library or library profession is not going to solve the purpose. In the changing landscape of the entire information industry, please remember, you have to bring in lots and lots and lots of value on table for users to really look up to you and ask you to participate. With that, I would like to thank you all. Please remember, only you can bring in change. Thank you very much. Thank you for patient hearing, and thank you for listening to me. My name is Rajesh Pandit. Thank you.